Robert Rios. Favorite fight?
My favorite fight would have to be this happened. It was a UFC on Fuel TV fight between Vanderlei Silva and Brian Stan.
Yes.
Such a wild fight, and to see two guys go at it, it was a light heavyweight fight. Two legends, Vanderlei, obviously a Pride legend. Brian Stan,
American hero.
Yeah, American hero, a savior. But yeah, it was awesome to see those guys go at it with the flurries they were having, and both guys getting dropped multiple times.
Yep.
Oh, and then
Clinch.
you get a conclusion,
Yeah, that was fucking wild. You went into that fight knowing Vanderlei was going to fight that way, but not surprised Brian Stan fought that way, but maybe not thinking maybe he would fight more tactically. Because the only way Vanderlei's best option, best way to win is if you play his game. If you play his game, most of the time you lose. But if you can kind of keep the distance and pick him apart a little bit, you can usually get the knockout shot. But if you want to go guns blazing and fight in a phone booth and throw caution to the wind, that's his bread and butter. That's where he thrives. So that was nuts.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Sure.
What was your favorite fight?
UFC 189. The UFC welterweight title was on the line. Lawler had been the champion, and this was Rory McDonald's first title fight, I believe. Yeah, his first title fight. He was coming off a win over. Did he had just beat Tyron Woodley? I think he was on a winning streak, and it was his first title challenge, and Lawler had been in the game a long time already, and that fight was insane. Both guys had their moments. Lawler won most of the fight, but McDonald came close. I believe it was the fourth round. He landed head kicks and elbows. He had Lawler backing up against the cage. He literally busted Lawler's mouth. His lip was cut open. Like there was like a slice of pizza missing from Robbie Lawler's mouth. And when he talked, it flapped like a back of a truck.
It looked like it was ripping open every time he opened his mouth, and
disgusting.
He gave us some pretty awesome photos, though.
After the fight, Dana was like, "Don't talk," because every time he talked, it was just flapping in the wind. Yeah. And when McDonald went on that flurry, he had already been busted up. His face was all destroyed. His nose was probably already broken, and he had already been damaged. Most guys would have already been TKO'd at that point, but McDonald has the heart of a champion. He's a killer. And when he finally got stopped, it wasn't like he got knocked out. He just got hit in his nose so many times, and his skull was already shattered that he just couldn't take it. I think he said he just saw white and he couldn't see anymore. And he went out like a beast, dude. He didn't get knocked out or flash knockout. He just kind of like got sat down really slowly and was just like, "This is it.
Yeah,
I can't take any more punches."
His face was just covered in blood. You could tell his nose was like pretty much the same level as his face.
Yeah, it was he got flattened. It was pretty nasty, and ever since then, I know against Wonderboy Thompson, his nose got broke again, and then a couple years later, just recently against in Bellator when he challenged for the middleweight champion Gerhard Masasi, I think broke his nose again with an elbow from the top mount. So it's a bummer. I'm hoping it doesn't come up again against when he fights John Fitch for the Bellator welterweight title, but. 189, that fight was insane. I was standing up the whole time. Neither one of them ever wanted to take a step back. It was insane. I'd never seen such display of heart by both guys, and that's the way Lawler fights. He did the same. It was the same kind of fight against Condit, same kind of fight against Hendricks. He's just a beast, and he almost beat Ben Askren most recently. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I was bummed when he got knocked out by Tyron. And I think he'll find his way to a title shot again before his career's over. But if I have to pick my favorite fight of all time, it's Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald for the welterweight title, UFC 189.